3 terms every white person needs to know. We have a new administration coming in a couple of months now that this presidential election is over. And these are some terms that you definitely want to know if you consider yourself to be a white ally or an anti-racist advocate or someone who is committed to social justice and racial justice and collective liberation. Okay, you want to know these terms and you want to make sure that you are using them in the appropriate ways and not misusing them, because your words have power. Your words can bring life or your words can bring death. And you can cause a lot of harm through the words that you use, especially when you're using them inappropriately. So let's get clear on these 3 terms, okay? You ready? Put your listening ears on and put your critical thinking hat on, and we're going to get into it. The 3 terms that we're going to be reviewing today are white privilege, reparations, and handouts, okay? Let's go. White privilege is simply an unfair advantage given to white people based on their race. That's it. It's an unfair advantage given to white people strictly because they are considered white. It's all about not treating people in an equal way and giving that unfair advantage and creating a condition that gives white people a greater chance of success, a greater chance at wealth, a greater chance for better opportunities and access, etc. That's what white privilege is about, okay? Number 2, reparations. Now, reparations is the making of amends for a wrong that one has done by either paying money to or by otherwise helping those who have been wronged, okay? That's what reparations are. And if you think about it, in the word reparations is the word repair, right? And repair means to fix or mend something that is suffering some sort of damage or fault, right? So why are reparations even a topic of discussion? Why are reparations necessary? Y'all saw me on the Dr. Phil show talking about reparations for African Americans, right? The reparations are needed because of what? The white privilege, right? And what came from this idea of white privilege? Chattel slavery, right? The enslavement of Africans in America, all based on this idea that white people are superior to Black people. So Black people should be enslaved and they owe their labor to white people, right? Which is the epitome of white privilege, chattel slavery. Okay, so you're seeing that connection? Are you seeing the connection? Okay, keep that critical thinking hat on, pull it down a little bit tighter, pull it down tighter. Okay, we have one more to go. And lastly, the handout. A handout is something that's freely given to those who are in need. A needy person, a needy organization. It's something that is freely given to someone or an organization in need. Okay, so what's an example of a handout? A handout could be free toys. It could be free food, right? But it's being given to those who are in need. They have a need and then someone is giving them a handout, right? It's there to help them, okay? Reparations, now that we know the definitions of these words, reparations are not a handout to Black people. Reparations are there to repair the damage that was done from chattel slavery and its legacy. Does that make sense? Okay, so what you'll hear sometimes from a lot of white people, because what? They have white privilege, they'll say, we're not giving Black people a handout. Reparations are a handout. No, no, no. That's not the definition of reparations. It's to repair, right? It's a correction, okay? It's paying back something that has been owed, right? Based on damage that was done. It's trying to mend things. It's trying to repair things. So these are the terms that you need to be aware of. There are lots more terms. You can follow me and watch my videos to learn more about that, or you can join my Patreon community if you want to continue learning from me. But be very careful and intentional about the words that you use, because people shape their worldviews, their belief systems based on the messages that they're receiving, based on the words that people use. So a lot of people have a misconception that, number one, white privilege doesn't exist, although it obviously does. You can't get a 34-time, twice impeached, convicted felon into the White House who's known for being racist and xenophobic, and the list goes on, into the highest position in the land if white privilege doesn't exist. That if you ever wondered, is white privilege really a thing, right? And you've ignored everything around you that tells you, yes, obviously it is. Just look at the presidency and that will tell you, period, right? There's your answer. There's your example, okay? And know that just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because it's something that you haven't heard before doesn't mean that it's not true, okay? Anti-racism is not a diet. It's a lifestyle. So commit to learning and growing and doing better every day, and you can get started on my profile.